Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We're in spirit. I want to, Robin Berger, our incredible song leader, we're going to be having her voice frequently throughout the month of December, especially next week with Tat Shabbat and Family Shabbat, but we're so thrilled to have her. We begin our service with Hine Ma Tov.
Hine Ma Tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Ma Tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine Ma Tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Ma Tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Let's do some echoing. I'll sing in English, you sing it back to me. How good it is, how good it is, how sweet it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how good it is, how sweet it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine Ma Tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Ma Tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
We turn to page 124 in Mishkan Tefillah, underneath you. 124, and please join me. We enter the sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wandering, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into the sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayers. We turn to page 120 as we light our Shabbat candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
For those who are able, we rise together for Kiddush 123.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila למקרא קודש, זכר לציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבע קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Amen. We continue to the top of page 127. And please join me. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. We continue with Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Nekabela. Shemor v'zachor v'dibur echad, Emanu-El Hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem tiferet v'lit chila. Here we go. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Nekabela. Likrat Kala, Lechu v'nelcha, Ki mekor habracha, Mirosh mikedem nesucha, Sof maaseh b'machshava techila. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, Ki ba'orech kumi uri, 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 shir daberi, Kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Here we go. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Nekabela.
Together to greet Shabbat HaMelcha.
Boi v'shalom, ateret bala, Gam besimcha uv'tzola, Toch emunei am segula, Boi kala, Boi kala. Lecha Dodi, nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekabela.
We continue 145 at the bottom. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer on the mystery of a withered leaf, unripened fruit so fair, at the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways. We continue with our Chetzi Kaddish right there, 144.
Yitkadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach yurtei ve'amlich malchutei b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'vchayei dechol beit Yisrael bagala bagala uvizman kariv ve'imeru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'alam olamei amaya yitbarach yitbarach ve'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudasha brichu leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushmechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma ve'imeru amen.
We rise together, 146.
Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai.
We continue the top of page 149, and please join me. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way in which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hamariv aravim. On the next page.
We are love, 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 by unending love, an unending love. We are love, 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 by unending love, an unending love. We are embraced by arms that find us. are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we are too embittered to hear. We are loved, we are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us, even when we are too weak for meeting. Try with me. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. Embrace us, soothe and counsel, as are the arms, the fingers, the voices, as are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending love. Here we go together. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love we have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto Leolam, Leolam Vaed. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all of thy might. And all these words which I command you on this day shall be upon thy heart, shall be upon thy heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and thou shalt speak of them when thou sittest in thy house, when thou walkest by thy way, and when thou risest up, and when thou liest down, and when thou liest down, and thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be for frontlets between thine eyes, and thou shalt write them on the doorposts of thy house, and upon thy gates, and upon thy gates, that ye may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
We continue at the top of page 157. And please join me. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, but the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Our song of freedom and liberation, our Michamocha 158.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, norat tehilot osefele, norat tehilot osefele. Malchutecha uvanecha, bokei haya lifnei Moshe veMiriam, Zelianu ve'amru, Zelianu ve'amru, Adonai himloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai himloch le'olam va'ed.
The top of page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Our Hashkivenu 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shamreinu lechaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shamreinu lechaim. of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, or pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim, lechayim, lechayim.
The top of page 163. We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. The top of page 162.
Veshamru Bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat Ledorotam berit olam Beini uvein Bnei Yisrael Oti leolam Veshamru Bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat Ledorotam berit olam Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz veshamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabbat lasot et hashabbat ledorotam berit olam uvayom hashvi shavat vayinafash Shavat vayinafash veshamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabbat lasot et hashabbat ledorotam berit olam.
The middle of page 165. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. For those who are able, we rise together for our tefillah.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagita hilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Hail Hagadol Hagibor veHanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Bekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chastei Avot veImaot, Umevi Gula Lifnei Vnehem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Mashiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יכלוה סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We continue the top of page 173, and please join me. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. We continue on page 179, and please join me again. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praise are you, eternal one, who blesses our people with peace. The top of page 178.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha livarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol Bishlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We take a few moments for our own reflection. At this moment in our service, we take time to think of those in our community who need of healing of body and spirit. On the Shabbat, we especially think of Linda Applebaum, Sydney Silverman Bailey, Margaret Bell, Harold Seitlin, Deborah Chargois, Karen Edwards, Hannah Fox, Edward Goldberg, Barbara Goldstone, Josie Hatfield, Sissy Held, Evelyn Held, and Jack Held, Donald and Maida Himmel, Corey Kessler, Bart Colber, Jerry Lapidus, Kirby Manasseh and Scott Manasseh, Marlene Meyerson, Jeffrey Muss, Leslie Simon, Liz Slive, Chrissy St. Charles, Brenda Weinstein, Joan Weisberg, and Carol Wright. For those with us this evening, if you are thinking of a loved one, someone who means so much to you, and you wish to share a name out loud, we invite you to do so as my eyes meet yours. For those names mentioned out loud, and for those names that are still in our hearts, we continue with our prayer for healing, our Mishaberach 371.
Mishaberach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We know that South Africa is in the news again with concern of another variant. Tonight, I do want to talk about South Africa, but particularly a South African, Eliyahu K. of blessed memory. And for those who don't know, a couple days ago, actually more of a week, he was a South African who made Aliyah. He served in the IDF and he was a tour guide. He was murdered in the Old City by Hamas terrorists. I wanted to use this space to once again talk about the murder of this incredible young man and the agony that his family are feeling right now. And for those that know me by now, I wanted to use this time to talk about how the mainstream media is filled with Jew hatred and inaccuracies. And there's only one explanation of this, is that so many of us don't like the idea of an indigenous Jewish homeland, and they use their bylines to write such lies. I wanted to use this space to convey my frustrations and my agony over the death, this murder of this young man who had a life to live in Eretz Yisrael. But our friends at Chabad, specifically Frumi Poster, sent me something which was incredibly powerful today. She sent me the recording of Eliyahu's father, in which I can provide after Shabbos. And he gave clear instructions to the rabbis of the world that tonight and tomorrow is Shabbos. And according to Jewish law, thousands of years of Jewish precedent, we're not supposed to be in mourning. And he was clear with us. He said, when we light the Shabbat candles, when we have our Shabbat meal, tonight and tomorrow should be filled with simchas. It should be strengthening the Jewish people. We should not mourn Eliyahu. It takes great courage. It takes great heart and love for his father to say this to the Jewish world. But yesterday we celebrated a long American tradition of gratitude. So for tonight's message, our gratitude should be for Eliyahu's father, and we should be thankful for Shabbat. So many of us face the challenges of life, an uncertain economy, another variant, whatever it may be. But for this period, we get to be thankful that we can step aside and enter the holy. So al hat kama v'kama, if Eliyahu's father said to us that we're obligated to be joyful, that we're obligated to be happy, that we're obligated to strengthen the Jewish people, this is our message tonight and tomorrow. I know it's hard because we don't think like this. It's constantly the news cycle, it's our devices, it's the busyness of our realities. But for this Shabbos, perhaps we turn off the noise, and I know there's going to be a lot of noise tomorrow. But maybe when they score that touchdown, we find some perspective. But nevertheless, Mizachech the Jewish people, there's no mourning. And then on Sunday, I believe, hopefully starting at 4:30 at the summit, please join our friends at Chabad for a community Hanukkah celebration and let our light shine. We owe it to them, we owe it to this Jewish community of Birmingham, and above all, we owe it to the K family. We turn to page 586 and we rise together for our Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kamishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kachol hamonam. Vanachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu noteh shamayim veyoser aretz umoshav yakaro b'shamayim imal ushchinatu zo begave meromim hu Eloheinu einod emet malkeinu efesulato kakatu betorato v'yadata yom v'shavata elala lalavecha levavcha ki Adonai hu Elohim bashamayim imal v'haaretz mitachad einod v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad ushemo echad.
Please be seated. We turn to page 597, and I ask for us to read the indented readings together. Remember our people who suffered and died so that we could be free and secure. May their memory be more than a distant shadow. For their dreams left unfulfilled, their lives taken too soon, we remember. Remember our brothers and sisters whose sacrifice kept the dream of democracy and justice alive. May their courage be our inspiration and strength. For life cut short and vision unrealized, we remember. Remember the fallen of our armed services, the victims of terror and tragedy. May the darkness of their loss not obscure the light of peace. They were in love with our land and in love with life. For the agony, the tears, the mothers and the fathers, for the children who were and for the children yet to be, we remember. On this Shabbat, we recall the yortzites of William Abrams, Marilyn Silverfield Athey, Ida Bellows, Adolph E. Burke, Jack Berland, Sterling Berman, Herbert L. Blank, Ray Shaw Blatzer, Henry H. Bowman, John M. Chapman, Sr., Marion Wender Cohen, Evelyn A. Klatt, Irma Ray Block Erdrich, Hermione R. Fox, Richard Goldblatt, Rose Goodman, Ida W. Grafman, Basya Gurevich, Gila Hillel Gurevich, Lisa Gurevich, James Jameson, Bernard Eric Hannon, Charlie Horn, Dodie Jaffe, Benjamin Jaffe, Bertha Goldner Kahn, Marvin Link, Francis Mack, Herman Marcus, Stephen Yale Mazer, Sarah Meadows, Marilyn Michael, Sharon Patterson, Hazel Randman, Richard Reese, Rebecca Rogoff, Luther Roper, Sigmund Rosen, Selma Sachs, Dora Weinstein Schreibman, Ann Shyland, Ralph Richard Silver Jr., Bruce Simon, Samuel B. Stern, Rebecca Stern, Abe Burt Tannenbaum, Dr. Roland Weisner, and Jean Weinstein. Our heartfelt condolences in the recent passing of Alfred Tomlinson, father of Cinda Goldberg, Jennifer Ware, daughter of Sharon and Alan Goldstein, and Joyce Hellsberg, mother of Henry and Emily Hellsberg. We rise together as a united congregation for Mourner's Kaddish, 598. V'gadal, v'gadash shemei rabbah, v'yomad divrach hirotei v'amlich malchutei, v'chayachon of yomechon, uvchet v'kol beit Yisrael, ba'agalah u'izman kari v'imru, Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mivarach Leolam Olamei Almaya Yid Barach Bi Shabach V'hit Ba'ar V'hit Romam Nihit Naseh V'ita Dar V'ita La V'ita Lal Shmei Dekudsha Le'ela Bin Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechamata Damin Ram B'yoma V'yimru
Amen.
Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu V'yakol Yisrael V'yimru Amen. Osei Shalom B'yimromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu V'yakol Yisrael, V'yimru, Amen. We conclude with Osei Shalom.
Oseh Shalom b'mromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru, Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
I want to thank once again our incredible song leader, Robin Berger. Shabbat Shalom, Hagarim Sameach, and for tomorrow, go blue. Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbos.